Welcome to the kickstart of our podcast, Young Opinion.
Welcome to Young Opinion. My name's Alex. This is
Remy Hudson.
Remy Hudson. This is hopefully the first of many Young Opinion podcasts. As the name says, we just talk about whatever the youth are interested in.
Yeah, just bring an
Which is
alternative
us.
perspective to
Yep.
you guys. Hopefully, get an opinion out there
Yeah.
that needs hearing and wants to be shared.
Yep. This podcast is going to be very unstructured, so we're just going to talk for an hour or two and just chop up whatever. And
Essentially, we rate our private discussions that we have with each other,
Yeah.
and feel the content is worthy enough to be heard by others.
Yep.
So,
Very nice.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me an introduction to what Wim Hof, what is Wim Hof? If I'd never heard of Wim Hof and I said, what the fuck is Wim Hof? Is it a fucking spell? What is it?
it's a good question. Some people might think it's a spell because it does.
Works magic?
It works magic and it's captivating, and it's really something to experience. In my own personal experience, I've been doing the Wim Hof method for approximately just over a year.
Yep.
And started off with, I think, us two having cold showers,
Yeah. Sure
and
did.
just experiencing the benefits of that.
Yeah.
And so essentially the Wim Hof is a mix of breathing, cold showers, and commitment and mindset.
So why don't you give what does the Wim Hof involve? What does doing the Wim Hof involve for you on a daily basis?
Yeah, so on a daily basis, Wim Hof, normally I wake up in the morning. First thing I do, take a big breath of oxygen, because oxygen's life, hey? And then the actual method would consist of me doing a set of breathing rounds, there's a whole structured process of breathing known as the Wim Hof Breathing Method. And each day I'll do approximately 3 rounds of breathing deeply, and each round is 30 breaths. And what this does is get the oxygen flowing again, get your body working, your metabolism working, and it relaxes you and really puts you in a good mindset for the day. And so each day I'll do some breathing, similar to that, and then I'll also have a cold shower. Sometimes also first thing in the morning to wake up, my muscles are tight. If I'm groggy, jump in a cold shower and you feel amazing after.
Yeah.
Today I had my cold shower, and it's literally changes your mindset to be a real optimist. Whenever I'm, not feeling great, or if there's something playing on my mind, jump in a cold shower and it feels as though you're above it all, and it feels as though that
What Mike's for?
excellent. When
I got to tighten this
if there's
motherfucker.
something on my mind and I decide to go in and have a shower, I know I've made a right choice, because after you feel relaxed, you feel in the moment, and you're not troubled by nearly as much stuff, and you just feel
Sure.
good. You've got a positive outlook on your whole life,
Yeah.
and just feel great. So the cold showers.
Well, you just answered my follow-up question as well.
Did I?
I was going to say, what does it give you every day? What does it do for you? Why do you do it? What is it? How does it benefit you? You
Yeah.
know, psychologically, how do you think it benefits you?
Psychologically, well, it's such a primitive force, because it's something that we would have been exposed to a lot, the cold, before living in such a controlled environment. And so this brings me back into my body's ability to create its own happiness and its own well-being. And so psychologically, it's a tool to enhance your positive feeling, also enhance your emotions in general. If I'm feeling out of touch with my emotions, often I will find I'm more likely to ruminate or get into negative thoughts or not feel as good. But if I have a cold shower, it actually allows you to feel good, because you become much more centered and much more in touch with how you're feeling. And because emotions are physical, it really puts you into your physical body, and it causes you to have a certain control over your mind.
What do you mean by emotions are physical?
Well, so say for example when you're feeling a stress or tension as an example of an emotion, or we'll use stress. It's a fairly broad emotion, but you feel that in one part of your body. Maybe it's your shoulders, maybe it's your chest, your neck, your stomach, etc. And having a cold shower actually helps to reset a lot of your body's mechanisms, including your muscles and the cells in your muscles, because it puts them into a fight or flight mode suddenly, and so it gets them working really efficiently and really well. But because it's only short-term and controlled, what happens is it only acts as a very short-term stressor, so it's not putting them under an enduring stress, which then has negative consequences on your body. It's actually having the reverse effect, because all it does is make them start functioning, optimizing their function.
Yeah.
And so then what happens is you stop holding a certain tension in your body, because your body knows it doesn't need that tension, and so it can learn to release it. And physically you feel much looser and much more lithe in your body and your movements, and agile, and then that changes your whole mindset as well, because if you're feeling good physically, you're going to feel better mentally as well.
True.
And so the Wim Hof fulfills a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
You've been doing the Wim Hof method quite a lot each day as well?
Yeah, I sure have. Yeah, it's a massive cleanser, sort of. Like, I feel like regardless of how I feel before I do the Wim Hof, always after the Wim Hof, it's always like I've emerged from a sleep almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, before I'm like all groggy and like, could be
a proper sleep.
Thoughts and stuff. But after the Wim Hof, it's just like, you're just so in the moment, which is nice. It's kind of like, it goes hand in hand with meditating, I think, a lot. Like,
yep.
I think if you're doing meditating and Wim Hof every day, then like you're on the right track to having good self-awareness and mental health.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, I guess, to set yourself on a path for development and for feeling good, because then you're going to make the most of life, which is what we're trying to do.
True.
Live a wholesome life.
Yeah. So, back to like the theme of this, not even the theme, back to the entire ethos of what this podcast is going to be about, Young Opinion. What would you say is the primary goal in your life at this time? Like, for example, is your goal to fuck chicks? Do you want to do well in uni? Are you more focused on like self-development at this stage? Are you more focused on external goals like making money? Are you more like, or getting women? You know, are you more focused on
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of questions. But like, what do you think your main like driving force is?
About, I think, a year ago, I was trying to work out in a way this question, what the point of life is. It's quite a philosophical question, but from my perspective, what I thought it was, and it's a bit abstract, this is, but initially I thought my purpose in life is to find connection, and there were three things that I knew that I really wanted to connect to, or find a relationship between, because it was important to me. And that's one, myself, because that's, if you don't connect to yourself, if you don't have a transparent relationship with yourself, then it's very hard to connect to other things.
Yeah, exactly.
And the two other things was family and friends, so other people.
Yeah.
Because, other human beings are extremely important to the
Yeah, this is like a list of priorities almost. I mean, because you've kind of got to do all your self shit first before you can even attempt to be with other people.
I mean, they go hand in hand, because one,
parents, like, I feel like parents is like the one relationship where it goes hand in hand. I think if you're in a romantic relationship and you're trying to figure out your own stuff at the same time, that it's not going to work. Like, you're going to end up fucking up the other person, and fucking yourself up. But I think, like, your relationship with yourself and your relationship with your parents is, like, symbiotic.
So you're saying in a relationship you should have a should work out yourself before
Oh yeah, most definitely.
trying to connect deeply with someone else. I guess
Yeah,
in an intimate relationship, it is. I mean, it's called intimate for a reason.
Of course. Well, in an intimate relationship, it's such a different dynamic than with your parents. You can't expect to be in a relationship and try and figure out your personal issues at the same time, because you can't treat your partner like a parent. You treat it the way I treat my parents. I don't know if this is like unanimous, but the way I treat my parents is like I don't dump my emotions on them, but you very much use them as like a support. And if you just try and use your partner as a crutch, like, they have their own issues, they can't deal with their own issues as well as your issues, or you can't be with someone who's trying to do that to you. So you have to.
So I got a question on that because
Fire away.
I mean, people aren't perfect. So say you get in a relationship and you've been going out for a little while, and then you find that you're starting to get nagged by some personal problems.
Yep.
And you can't seem to deal with them, and maybe you're getting angry at your partner, maybe you're projecting a little bit.
Sure.
You're just confused.
Yep.
So at that stage, is it better to take some time off from the relationship if it starts to impede on it, or is it better to talk about it, maybe try to talk about it in a mature way? Or so how does the relationship go then if you've got a problem's arisen with you, if you're finding your...
Yeah. Sure. I reckon same with anything that happens in a relationship, any problem, you can't just up and leave. Like, you've just got to fucking talk about everything in a mature way. So I don't know. It really depends on the problem you're having. The problem with a relationship is it kind of almost masks your own problems. So you might not even be aware that you've got a problem until you're out of the relationship and you're like, fuck, I'm very unhappy. Like, you could go years without even recognizing you've got a problem, because that's what a relationship does. Like, that's what fucking oxytocin does. That's what all that stuff does. That's what love does. It masks, like, makes you feel amazing. It's like being on a drug for like a year. Like, when you're in love with someone, it's like the best thing ever. Like,
It's oblivious to everything else bad.
yeah, exactly. So, like, very much masks your own problems. I'm not saying that relationships are bad at all. Like, the shit you learn from a relationship probably overshadows the stuff that you have to, you know what I mean? Like, you learn so much about how to treat the opposite sex or same sex.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, just if you just bring it up in a mature way, yeah, I don't know. It's hard, obviously. It's very hard. And I feel like before getting in a relationship, you'll know deep down whether you feel like you're ready. And if you're not, because the thing is, if you're in a relationship with someone else who's like a bit unstable, did the camera just make a noise?
No.
If you're in a relationship with someone else who's a bit unstable and you bring up, hey, I want to take some time apart because I want to work on my own shit, it's going to, that person's not going to take it well.
They'll take it personally, I guess.
They'll take it very personally. Especially when you're fucking 19, dude. People take shit personally. People are insecure.
So I guess when you're young and you want love, it's better not to look for a relationship specifically with anyone, because I was going to wait till that bird was done. It's probably better not to look for a relationship unless you actually... it's probably not better to look for a relationship unless you find yourself drawn to one particular person, because if you may be looking for a relationship, then you're trying to compensate for something else. Dude, you need something to...
It's just life, man. It's just not even just when you're young, or not even just when you're trying to work on yourself. Just as a general rule of thumb, you shouldn't get into a relationship with someone you're not certain about already. You shouldn't just be like, oh, this girl likes me, I'm just going to get into a relationship with her. Because I've done that. Like, when you're fucking... I don't want to take shots at people, I really don't. But when you're like 13 and some chick likes you, like, regardless of whether you like them, it's like a massive ego boost.
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking hell, like, you start liking them. So I feel like you can't get into a relationship with the mindset of, oh yeah, she's cute, whatever, and I guess we'll see how it goes. You have to I feel like you have to be kind of like kind of like them in the first place. That's my opinion as a 19-year-old. But
So you're saying it's quite a bit more complicated and should be taken, I guess, a bit more
Yeah.
seriously. So
dude, I don't know. It's fucking hard. I don't even know if a serious relationship is good at this age, honestly.
young flings, maybe they're the go.
Flings.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's.
I
I'm
mean,
not
what are
saying
we all trying to do here, really, in the end? I don't know.
fuck.
Just fuck.
Nah, man, no way. I reckon that's no fucking way. I reckon for me, like, yeah, sex is cool, but intimacy is cooler.
Cooler.
That's much. No, I prefer intimacy than sex. I mean, obviously. Sorry, let me rephrase that. This is gonna sound extremely fucking obvious, but I'd prefer like intimate sex than like fucking the type of sex that, you know, just like fucking the shit out of someone.
And a
Like,
fundy round a dirt corner.
yeah, outside the fucking back of Woolies dumpster of that sex.
Yep.
Yeah, Woolies dumpster sex.
What are the people called who survive off the food that Woolies puts out the back? Or
What are they called?
yes, there's a name for.
Homeless? I don't know.
Well, yes, but there's a name that Woolworths and Coles used to dump all their fruit and veggies out the back, and there was a name for someone who snagged the produce out of there.
I don't know.
Dole bludger. Nah.
Dole bludger. A very desperate person. I mean, I'd do that. Fuck.
I would do that.
I'd
I've
totally
done
do
that before,
that.
actually.
Have you?
Got myself a
Why don't they
lettuce.
do that anymore, bro?
Yeah,
That's
help
so dumb.
OH&S, I think.
OH&S. That's
Stupid.
bullshit. So what do they do? Just put it in a fucking landfill?
Yep.
OH&S.
Solves everyone's problems. Dump it out in
I'll
Dingley.
tell you what I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
I was going to send you a picture earlier today. It was from one of my lecture slides from ecology and the environment, and pretty much
Yeah.
you've heard this before, but it was about the hazards of wind turbines.
Oh.
Man. And the last point, they were all like fairly like feasible, but the last one was birds. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I think Tony Abbott might have used that in one of his.
But that was on my university lecture slide for
Wow.
environment, and like, what the fuck?
So some people think it's a viable reason to consider that 8 birds or something, 7 birds
Hey,
a year.
I don't
or
know.
so
I don't
could
know
hit
the
the wind
stats, man.
turbine.
but all I'm thinking is like, I'm sure fucking digging a massive, I'm sure burning fossil fuels is a bit worse, or I'm sure mining in the fucking Great Barrier Reef is a bit more destructive
Yep.
than displacing a couple birds. And also, like, just don't be a fucking idiot. Don't put it in the path of a fucking bird migration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not gonna put it right in the fucking in the path of bird migration. Like, I don't understand how they even die. Like, wind turbines fucking turn so slowly.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't stick my hand between a blade, but
No, but
I
they're
don't
not
have-
sharp.
no,
They're not
I
sharp.
guess
are
not. They split the wind, but like, do they break the wind as well as you do?
they? What you fucking.
They're a little
I'll
cleaner though.
tell you a stat that I thought was cool that I learnt today.
Yeah.
So the air that we breathe.
9 centimeters is enough.
Yeah, 9 centimeters is enough for the boy. The boys need to know. 9 centimeters is
Sorry, go on.
perfect. What I learnt today was that. Okay, so 20.9% of the air we breathe in is made up of oxygen, right? 20.9. So the rest is made up of like mostly nitrogen,
Yep.
and
I think around 78% nitrogen, perhaps.
yeah.
Don't quote me, but
Perhaps. So yeah, so 20%, and that's like, I was under the impression that like most of the air was oxygen. I was under the impression that we're gonna have to pull up another fucking mic, dude, for the birds. I was under the impression that most of the air was.
everyone's got something to say, I guess.
Yeah, I know, dude. Everyone wants to fucking jump in on this podcast.
Yeah,
Hop on the
young opinion,
bandwagon. Yeah, dude. Fucking chasing clout, these birds. They want a fucking Instagram tag.
Shout out to the Boyds.
Anyway, so what the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah. Oops.
Talking about the mother drug, oxygen.
Oh yeah, oxygen. So pretty much 20% of the atmosphere is oxygen, right? the rest is nitrogen. So when we breathe air in, we only absorb, how much was it?
16? Is that so?
16 what?
16% oxygen in, 4% out. Is that right? I'm not sure.
Oh, I can't. Now, why did I bring this up, man? Because I can't actually remember the stats. Okay, in summary, what I was going to say is the amount of oxygen. Not only is the atmosphere only 20% oxygen, but we probably of the oxygen that we breathe in, the amount that we breathe, the amount that we actually absorb is like maybe like 20% of what we breathe in, which is already 20% of what's in the air. You know what I mean? So it's probably like 5% that we absorb, I reckon. Okay, probably a bit higher than that. And then when we do an out breath, I was under the impression that it's all carbon dioxide. Only 4% of the out breath is carbon dioxide.
Okay.
So it's pretty crazy.
There you go. So it drops.
There you go. So that's like, that made me feel uncomfortable, honestly. Like, that I'm breathing in so much nitrogen. Like, what the fuck's nitrogen? I know it's non-reactive, but like...
So nitrogen must be breathed out as well, I guess, a lot of then.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into our body.
Doesn't do anything.
Well, there you go. It must play some equilibrium role in our lungs.
Here's what I don't understand. Apparently if you breathe in pure nitrogen, after 2 breaths you'll die, just because from like suffocate. It must be similar to methane, but so how are we breathing in? Like if the air was if the air composition was 70% or 80% methane and then the rest was oxygen, I would be fucking dead. How are we still alive?
Yeah, it's a good
I don't
question.
understand.
How are we still alive?
How are we alive? Yeah.
Guess there's a lot of things that can kill us, including 5 grams of magic mushrooms.
Yeah. How cool is it to think that every time you breathe in, the oxygen is being used in like cellular respiration, right?
Yep.
And then when you breathe out, like every breath out, all the like mitochondria, whatever the cells, it's just like the CO2 is just getting transferred from like all these mitochondria and just like onto your breath. It's like fucking. Your body's like a factory. It's like
it's phenomenal,
making like ATP.
And we know so little about it.
Yeah, we do.
Like learning,
but when you do biology, it seems like we know fucking too much. There's so much to remember.
There's a lot of content. Although, when I often find the lecturers at uni say, we're not quite sure of this yet.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is our theory.
I actually like it when they say shit like that, because it makes you feel like you're on like you're like learning the top tier stuff. Like they don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess maybe they want you to feel that.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I don't mind uni. It's alright.
It's okay.
Bad.
Gives you something to do.
Alright, so I noticed how you tried to shift the conversation towards shrooms. Do you want to talk about that?
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I drop that one in? So actually,
dropped a subtle.
Rolled off
Fuck,
the tongue.
we've been rolling for 35 minutes, bro.
Yeah, we talked about much or just bullshit.
I don't know. It's just so fucking odd, man. It's cool though. I don't mind.
Well, actually, I was going to get back to the question that I didn't quite answer earlier. I talked about connection to myself, connection to other people, and the third one was connection to nature. Because essentially, I think that, you know, we're natural, everyone else is natural, and what we call nature and the wild out there is also natural. So connection is very important. I think ultimately connection to that brings us...
I'm very sorry. This burps into the mic. Sorry. I'm sorry for that.
Anyway, ultimately connection to those 3 things were the what I believed was purpose of part of my life at that stage.
Alright, so...
And that was around a year ago.
Yeah. I reckon that's good. I reckon, like...
It has changed slightly.
Those are a good list. Self, nature, and... You know, they almost go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Yep. I think they do. I think that's probably
cool.
one fundamental idea of them, that they're not isolated, they do go hand in hand.
Yep.
And...
So would you say that your main priority is... Back to my question from 25 minutes ago. Would you say that your main priority is... What's your... Okay. If you had a list of everything you wanted to achieve in your life, what would be the first thing you want to cross off the list? For example, for me, it would be... I have no fucking idea, man. I don't know. Get over anxiety or something. Or, you know, travel to fucking the USA. I don't know. Okay. Let me ask a more less vague question. What is if you could achieve one thing in the next month, that's realistic. What would it be?
Well, there's probably a few things going on. Basically, getting better at things that I really like. One of them is skating. Got a few tricks that
skating.
Pardon?
Okay. Yeah, cool.
There's a few tricks that I want to learn.
Yeah. Which ones?
It's front side, shove it, big spin or something like that's called, and big spin and heel flip. But
yeah,
we'll see if that comes along. Then there's also personal development ones, like just learning to understand myself more. Really, making the most out of life, enjoying life. Like we've decided the other day to you and me, not to go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram for a week.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So
let's do it.
That's gonna hopefully open up my life a little bit more.
It will definitely do that. Yeah.
Make it more authentic. Make myself enjoy the present more.
Yep. Tell you what I was thinking about last night when we were meditating in the park before we were really interrupted by Michael Grace. Okay, I'll tell you what I was thinking the other night. I was just like lying there in the park and I was thinking, this is the only thing that exists in the universe. Like this instant right now. And it's like true of this as well. Like this is the only thing that, like, because you know when I think so much, and when I think, I'm always thinking like in the future. Like I'm thinking about worry about the future, thinking about the past. But the thing is, the only thing that actually exists is like right now. And I'm like, I feel like the percentage of the day that I'm actually in the present is like less than 1 probably. Because I'm always thinking about other shit, like worrying about uni, worrying about like.
Yeah, and all that other shit does play a role in. It's almost as if it's a fantasy of. You're sitting in the now. You're here, but you're so oblivious to it that you need this fantasy to fulfill some aspect of. What is actually hollow now, and maybe it's just coming back to the present, which gives you a more fuller feeling of.
Most definitely.
Being.
Yep.
Oh well, I wanted to also bring up a funny. I find this very, very ironic to do with social media.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that a lot of people consider social media to be the big connector between, Wi-Fi. It allows us to text, to email, to post, Instagram, share photos within a matter of seconds. And so there is a connection there. But what it does, ironically, is that it actually stops us from connecting to ourselves and connecting to other people.
Yeah.
Because it creates a mirage. The pictures aren't true. They're not an authentic representation.
It's an interface,
yeah. Yeah.
It's like where everyone's connecting, but they're not connecting on Earth. They're connecting in this little world that is Instagram, whatever. Yeah.
It's like another dimension.
Everyone's using their avatars and like, hey man, like no one. Everyone's just fucking sitting in their rooms, like.
Cyberspace, like the Google Cloud. What is that? It's
Google
the ether. It may as well not exist. I mean, we exist more in that sometimes than we do here.
When you go off social media, you forget that all this crap exists, man. Like, all this cloud shit, all this, like, Instagram. You forget there's, like, a billion fucking electromagnetic fucking fields going through the air with all this. Yeah. You forget that pretty much everyone else, like, every house you walk past on the street, all the people in the house are going to be fucking on their phone. Like, there's a high chance of that.
Yeah.
How fucking sad is that, man?
So actually, I'll probably give you guys a challenge, is when you're going somewhere on the train, just don't go on your phone and look around you and count the amount of people on the train in your carriage on their phone. It's a lot, and it just shows no one is interested in.
I had a mate, actually. Every time he went home from school on the train, he used to pick up someone and talk to them. Just go up to a group of people, like a group of schoolgirls.
Wow.
Just fucking. I'm pretty sure he, half the girls he dates and stuff. Like he was telling me about all these crazy experiences, like sneaking out of his house at night when he was like 16 and like going to girls' houses and stuff. And I'm like, dude, where do you meet these girls? He's like, on the train.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I was like, who are you texting? He's like, oh, it's someone I met on the train. It's fucking awesome, man.
See, there you go. That's the opportunity. If people,
dude, when you get off your phone, it's like a fucking new world. It's like, holy shit. I've not been taking my opportunities. I've not been making the most of opportunities, man.
Yeah, it's a new world because it really feels different. Like it feels different when after a few days you don't have that suck to your phone. Like you're not sucked in
The
to
itch.
the
Yeah.
screen. Yeah,
The itch.
it's crazy, and that's why we actually got these little
Yeah, we
babies.
did cop those.
little button phones.
Button phones. They're not bad. I even do the sad thing is I'm even like addicted to this. I feel
Okay.
like every morning I wake up and be like, it's just even that sound like dun dun when it gets a message. I'm like, ooh,
It is. I know.
on who messaged me?
At least,
It's like
yeah, it's very up.
it's what's addictive about it?
Yeah, it's funny that
What's it like? I
Piece
used
of
to think that
fucking shit
Instagram's addictive because there's fucking Instagram models and it's nice and bright colors and it's designed. What's addictive about it? Like about texting up?
texting on it's a bit
What-
dumbfounding to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
not sure.
what is it? Just like the communication?
I'm sure there's a scientific explanation, but in a sense, that's not.
Maybe it's to
really-
do with like validation. Like, oh, if someone else texts you, it's like validating. Sort of like, people want to be reaching out to you. Like,
I'm sure that's probably relevant to a lot of people.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe it's a lot more innocent. Maybe it's just like, maybe you just get a dopamine rush because you think it's going to be one of your friends and you want to talk to your friend.
and yeah,
Don't know.
well, the one thing I have done with this phone, which is really good, is just start calling people a lot.
I don't do that.
Yeah, well, you might like it if you start. I don't know. The fact is, if you commit to decide to call someone, then you don't actually need to call them because you've already overcome your fear.
True. Well, true. So to some extent.
And that's what I often find when I make a decision that I'm afraid about to do something, say to go talk to someone, and suddenly they leave and I can't. Well, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I made the decision.
Oh yeah, that's how I was in Europe for me when I was in Europe and I was doing cold showers, and I was in this one hostel, and I turned the shower cold, but it just stayed warm. It didn't get cold, but I was like, that counts as a cold shower because the main thing is just overcoming that initial hurdle to make it cold.
Yep, the mindset.
Yeah, I didn't get the benefits of the cold, but I did get the psychological benefits of doing something difficult. That counts for me.
There you go.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
For example, this morning,
Dopamine.
there was a group call for one of my projects, like just a Zoom meeting, and I was nervous about it because it was like people I hadn't met before, like 5 people I didn't know, and I was like, "Fuck, okay, I'm just gonna do it." Like I could have not done it, but I just went on it, and I missed the meeting by half an hour, but at least I was like, okay, well, I still kind of got over that hurdle. I was still like sitting there waiting for it to start, so
There you go.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And you're still waiting. You'll be waiting next time as well, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What's your best skill? What is the best skill you have? Like the most advanced.
Fucking things up.
Fucking
Joking.
things up.
My highest skill, music,
Music.
probably. How about you?
Highest skill. I don't even know. I think it changes for me a lot. Sometimes I start running a lot and then get good at running, then I stop and then I'm not so
Yeah,
good.
I heard this. I'm always thinking to myself, I'm always like down on myself because I feel like I'm. Have you heard the saying, "Jack of all trades, master of none"?
Yep.
I feel like that's me, and I'm like, fuck. I wish I could just do one thing. And I was talking to someone about it, and they're like, dude, the only people who like actually follow that are people who are only good at one thing. Like you're fucking like you've got choice. Like
That's a good point.
yeah, man.
I mean, diversity, and that could be more wholesome and fulfilling.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's good. I mean, it's good. I don't want to be focusing on one thing my whole life. It's good to dabble in things. Like I've dabbled in a fucking shit ton of stuff. Music,
Yeah.
like art.
I feel
film.
like, and we're not experts with, like, say for music, we're not experts.
Nah.
But
Well,
we've made some good music.
well. What do you
And-
think it's good?
No, we've made some good. What I'm saying is that you really don't need to be an expert to make a lot out of something.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen TED Talks, bro? Ever since we started watching them in school, like they're just associated with school.
Oh, did you?
It's like I'm fucking doing a lecture in my free time.
Dynamic.
All right, what would you say you're an expert in?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But I think that's also because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So
True.
there's always something I can
Of
learn.
course, dude. There's some things that you're probably really good at.
Some things which I think
Oh, what do you devote most of your time to?
things that I'm learning a lot about now include currently just recently skating, also music, also psychology, Probably psychology is actually the most.
Yeah, true. Dude,
For
I was just thinking, like, you can probably define an expert as someone who, like, spends a large quantity of their time devoted to one thing. I was just thinking, like, most people on Earth are experts at YouTube. Like, they are. They're, like, expert at fucking the internet.
Yeah. Social media.
Yeah,
I
expert
wonder
at social media.
by age 16, how many hours? Because so
have
this
you
is
wasted?
this is the framework that 0 to 100 hours is beginner, 100 to 10,000 hours is intermediate, and
10,000 plus is like a
10,000 plus.
virtuoso.
virtuoso, expert, shaman,
Fuck off, cunt.
you know, god. So how many hours would people spend on
A lot.
a lot?
A lot. Like, people spend fucking... Dude, I used to spend, like, at least 3 hours, 4 hours a day on Clash of Clans. Back in the day, on my iPad. After school, just get home, fucking jerk off, play Clash of Clans. Yeah.
Jerk off to Clash of Clans.
Dude, in, like, a massive bubble. That's a thing. When I got off social media and shit, when I deleted my Facebook, I was like... It's like, before that, I just cared so much about, like... It's like there was this other Alex that was, like, how everyone else sees me on social media, right? Like this, like a projection of myself on social media. And then as soon as I killed that person, I was like, all right, fine, I can actually focus on the only one that actually matters or exists.
Yeah, and the thing
This
about
one.
creating, it's almost creating an external persona, and what is, people forget that they're not that person.
Yeah.
Some
true.
people start to think that their persona is actually themselves, and that external persona that they generate is a true
Even I do
representation.
that, man. If I look at a girl's Instagram, I like generate a personality for them based off what they're putting out there.
Yep.
That's the thing, like, fucking people invest almost as much time. You know what? I'm going to say people invest a lot more time in their persona than they do in themselves. Because if you wanted to invest time in yourself, it's not just sitting in front of a TV. You got to fucking, like, go out, be with yourself, like, meditate. Like, the ratio of how much time people spend on their fucking phone, on their Facebook or whatever, compared to how much people spend actually, like, doing shit. For example, if you went to the average person, ask them, how many things do you do a day for yourself, like, to work on yourself as a person? They'd probably be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Or they would say, oh, well, sometimes I cook because I like cooking. Sometimes I watch Netflix because I like watching Netflix. Sometimes I read because I like reading. But the thing is, that none of that is actually being with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not exposing any of the holiness that...
I don't know. I feel like I am, like, kind of, like, generalizing people. Like, I'm making an archetype that's like this dumb fucking teenager on their phone. I know people
There's a new archetype.
People aren't really like
dumbness of humanity.
Yeah, people are Anyway, I'm not gonna... I'm sure I sound like an arrogant cunt, being like, everyone else is fucking dumb and needs to wake up. I mean, I know a lot of people are, like, very smart, but just, like, from an outsider perspective, not even from an outsider's perspective, because I've been there. I've been, like, the guy who's always on fucking my phone. Like, on the train, even at family gatherings, I'd be, like, on my phone. And it's a bit pathetic, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even think twice about it in the moment. It was just like my family wasn't even as important enough, wasn't as important as, like, what I was doing on my phone. And then, like, I just imagine what it would look like from the other side. Like, my family, I'd look like the biggest prick. Like, fucking...
Yeah, like, it's sometimes what I find funny is when I go out with people and then all they do is, like, sit next to you on your phone.
Yeah.
And while it's nice to have company, and sometimes...
I get so fucking pissed off at that, man.
Yeah.
So pissed off.
I mean, it can either make you feel a little bit like, what?
I mean, what's so fucking important?
I mean, I try not to dig too deep into that stuff because I know people...
I do. I get genuinely offended by that. But I know I shouldn't be getting genuinely offended because I did that as well. Yeah. It's not like a malicious thing. I didn't do it maliciously. I wasn't like, oh, I'm bored with this person. It was just a fucking habit. You just pull out your phone, like, look on Facebook. It's just like a... Dude, people fucking hang out these days and just go on their phones together.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just be quiet, and every now and then they'll be like, oh, look at this meme. That's, like, normal. So I guess I shouldn't read into it too much or get offended by it. But, like, when you're on the fucking receiving end of that, it's so fucking rude. Like, can't you do that at home?
You
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine if it was reading a book. Imagine if you hang out with your mate and you put out a book. Like, that would be so fucking rude.
Exactly.
What's
I
the
know.
difference?
Exactly. What is the difference? Oh, it's funny. You may as well not be there. Yeah, I saw two people eating dinner at a restaurant together, and they were both eating and looking at their phones. I thought, may as well just go sit on your couch by yourself.
I'm
and
so
eat dinner.
hungry, bro. Oh my god.
You're hungry.
We don't have any. My dad's a fucking full vegan, so we don't have any good food.
I'm having salmon for dinner.
Very nice. I'm eating a soup. Some vegan bread.
Cool.
Yep.
Vegan bread.
Vegan bread, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Suppose that's not that uncommon, is it?
No, it's just. Is it? No, bread is vegan. What am I fucking talking about? Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's got milk in it? Or eggs? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, it's just normal. It's vegan bread. Like all other bread.
I guess.
I mean, I was right. Okay, my computer's fucking low, dude. Shit.
Oh well, good chat. Should we?
Alright, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's do.
Let's do a fucking outro. This has been the first of hopefully quite a few Young Opinion podcasts. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, tell us if we had anything interesting to say in the comments.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
If you like
and
this,
subscribe.
just let us know. This was like really unstructured, so if you want us to talk about anything specific or like do any specific topics, if you want our like opinions on anything, if you just want anything discussed that you think might be interesting, whatever, just any general feedback, just like leave a comment or email us.
Yep.
I'm Alex Petropoulos. This is Remy Hudson.
Yeah, we're checking out for this week.
See you later. We don't know. We also don't know how frequently these are going to be uploaded. So, alright, this has been an hour. So, alright, thanks very much for watching.
See you on the dark side of the moon.
See you on the dark side of the moon. Bang.